Welcome to Forum 360. And I'm your host, Ardith Keck, and today we're going to the theater, with the Magical Theater, that is, which is located in Barberton, Ohio. With me are the co-producing directors, Holly Barkdoll and Dennis O'Connell. They began their journey with the theater in 1993. So tell me how you got involved with the Magical Theater.
Well, we worked there as actors and directors for the year prior to taking over the theater. We came back, we're married, we came back home after working all over the country in different theaters as producers, actors, and directors. And we came home to plan the wedding, and we worked as actors and directors at Magical Theater Company. And then at the end of the season, they were having some financial difficulties, great difficulties actually, and we're going to close the doors. The board of directors had decided to shut down operations and call it quits. And we just said,
No, don't do that.
Can't do that. We've never run a theater. We don't, necessarily know what to do, but we know a lot of what not to do after working in a lot of places. And we went to the board, and they took a chance on us, and here we are 23 years later.
A long time later. You said you're married, even though you have different names. Did you meet at the theater?
No, we met at the Carousel Dinner Theater when it was still in Ravenna.
Right.
Actually, and
because you were both acting at that
we were
Yes.
both acting. We met there. It took Holly a little while to see the light.
Oh, stop.
But eventually she did.
Can you describe Magical Theater for me?
Magical Theater Company it's the only professional resident and touring theater for young audiences in Northeast Ohio. So that's the sort of formal thing. We got our own home, the Park Theater, which, as you know, we're restoring, but we also tour and go out to schools. Key factor really is that it's a professional company. Everybody who works there, this is what they do for a living. Actors, directors, designers, costume people, tech people. It's what they do for a living. They make their living in the theater. So it's not a volunteer operation. And that means that they are committed to the theater, they're committed to kids, and that's what makes the quality good, and it makes the fact that they love kids.
And that's what was important to us when we took over the company 23 years ago, that we really, really wanted to introduce kids to quality work. If you don't get them hooked when they're young, they may not grow up to be theater goers. Maybe their families, aren't that into theater, but if we can get the kids through school or some other way, and you introduce them to quality theater, they're hooked.
And it is magical that you've been able to make this a definite go. And of course, we'll talk about your changing the theater right now. But at any rate, how do you do that when you have professional actors and people that you have to pay? Because you don't charge that much.
We don't charge that much. And you can come for $10, $12, $14. A school kid can come for $6. I think the key for us is that we had to keep that low because we wanted to be as accessible as possible to the whole community. So
we want families to be able to come more than once a season, to make it a regular thing that they do.
Right. So, but we have done well with earned income. Generally, in a season, we'll be at 65% earned and 35% support. But we've gotten a lot of great community support from foundations, from individuals, from companies. But we keep it small. It's a small company. It's not a big staff. We're the only two full-timers, and we have a bookkeeper and an office manager, and all those other folks are independent contractors. And we'll have 40 or 50 in a year, so it is a lot. But we try to keep the shows smaller. We've got a small space, and the idea is that we're telling stories, and it doesn't have to be about special effects and grand theater. It has to be about good work, good writing, good actors, and you present that in a way that, in an imaginative way for kids, and families.
As I said, I do think you're doing a magical job. Tell me about the theater you used to produce these plays.
The theater, the old Park Movie Theater, was built in 1919, and we're showing its age.
That's very kind.
Yes, for the 23 years we've been there, it's been needing some love all those years, and we're coming to the close of a renovation, a major renovation, $2 million capital campaign to restore the magic to the Park Theater.
I think the key for us in that theater and deciding to stay there is or was the intimacy of the theater. It's got great bones, but it's a little place, 284 seats, and that was really crucially important for us in our work and reaching kids, because when kids come into a really big place, they can get lost. In our place, they're right there, they're right in the action, and we spent a lot of time. We spent time looking at other places as well and said, I think we like where we are, and families and schools like where we are. It just needs to be fixed, so it will still remain very intimate.
When I saw the theater in August, it was just a shell.
Yes.
I'm assuming that it's more than a shell by now.
It's more than a shell.
It is.
It's getting there.
We're getting there. The seats are going to be going in
a couple weeks.
Next week and a half from now. But it's a beautiful shell with some more of the interior work. It's just every day when we go over to check on progress, it's jaw-dropping.
The restrooms, which of course were one of the hugest problems, are beautiful. They have real restrooms, which we didn't have really before.
The men have a restroom now.
Right. The men did not?
No, they had to use the one handicap
stall
restroom.
handicap it.
Exactly, is what that was.
We said it's the only place that you could go in Northeast Ohio and see a line of men waiting for the restroom instead of women.
Oh.
But
the women got a lot of joy out of that.
Yeah.
That does.
Kind of giggled about
yeah,
that.
There'll be new wall coverings, new seats. The lobby will be much more inviting when you enter. The ticket booth's been restored.
It's gorgeous.
They're
It's gorgeous.
down to a lot of painting now, a lot of, and trying to. One of the things that was important to us is keeping it a period feel, so that we were not changing the feel of the architecture or how you are relating to that building. So it's not too modern, not too contemporary, or industrial, anything like that. It's going to feel like it's 1919, only clean and nice.
Nice.
Clean and nice.
If you don't mind,
Clean and new.
If you don't mind, there's a real quick story. When we went into this, everybody was telling us, "Oh, they're gonna be surprises. You're gonna find things you didn't know were gonna be there when you get into a renovation of a building as old as that." And we said, "Okay, we understand." And I just kept hoping, "Oh, please let us find like bags of money in the walls or something. Please let us find buried treasure." But when they moved the ticket booth, they had to completely take the ticket booth apart in order to restore the marble and the wood and move it back. Underneath the ticket booth, they found a 1919 Mercury dime from the year the theater was built. So we have that dime, and it's just exciting to us,
You'll have to frame that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's gonna live framed in the booth.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, you didn't do this all by yourself.
We did not.
Oh, heavens no.
No, nobody does.
You've used volunteers.
We have had community volunteers as fundraisers who have done a fabulous job with us. Sophie Albrecht is our co-chair, and she has led the way along with Denny Little, our other co-chair from Barberton. And they have done a fabulous job of putting a leadership team together of leaders who went out into the community and helped tell the story.
Could not have done it without them.
Of what we're doing and why we're doing it, and look where we're doing it. And when we got them in, when we got business leaders, community leaders, foundation leaders in, a lot of the foundation leaders, they were aware of our work, but they hadn't really seen the behind the scenes of the theater, and so that kind of woke everybody up and said, gosh, we really do need to figure out a way to raise this money to make this happen.
Are you on budget?
We are on budget.
We are. On time and on budget.
We did have to raise the budget a little while ago, but when we first started working on this, it was 2012. When we first started the
planning process.
The planning, the architecture, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So by the time you get to 2015, some things had gone up and whatnot. But once we said, all right, we're going to be at $2 million,
And are you still looking for money?
We still are looking for
Absolutely.
money. We are not there
Always.
yet. Still
Are there
looking for
naming
money.
opportunities?
There are naming opportunities still available in the lobby, the restrooms, within the theater, downstairs, the dressing rooms. The dressing rooms were ragged, very ragged. We used to
We
have
didn't have dressing rooms, really.
No, we set up curtains, and the curtains were the old act curtains from E.J. Thomas Hall when it first opened in 1973.
Beautiful.
So they were beautiful at one point.
Yeah.
They weren't so beautiful when we had them. But yes, so there are still naming opportunities.
And they would be on your website.
Yes, yeah. Or they can give us a call,
Okay, and that number would be?
330-848-3708.
Okay, and your website is magicaltheater.org.
.org.
Okay. And, well, let me reintroduce you. This is Magical Theater, and it's located in Barberton. And with me are Holly Barkdoll and Dennis O'Connell, and they are the co-producing directors of the theater. The rest of the season, well, let's talk about opening night. What's your first play?
The first play in the newly restored theater will be Cinderella. We did open the season earlier with a play called The Westing Game, which we did at Barberton High School.
And were all your plays at Barberton High School in between?
Just the
Just
two.
the two, last spring and this fall. So we're very grateful to them for allowing us to continue producing. We didn't have to go dark. But it's only 2 shows out of the theater. So
The architects and the construction company was able to work starting May 1st through November.
That is amazing.
It
Right,
is.
That's
right.
a
So
short period.
It's
of
a
time.
yeah, and they all said, everybody, when we interviewed them though, we said, can you do it or not? If you can't, you got to tell us. And they said, we can. We said, okay, go.
And they said, as long as you stay on task, we can do it.
They did. They said,
did.
we can do it if you can do it. So.
Okay, so the opening show in the new theater is Cinderella.
Yes. Cinderella.
And is there a big deal happening on opening night?
Well, one of the things we're excited about is it's a new production. It's our own production that we've commissioned. So it's being written for our actors, for our space, for our company. So that in and of itself is very exciting. But there are a few other things planned.
Yeah, and we thought, we chose Cinderella because we thought, well, it's the rags to riches, the pumpkin turning into the carriage, the fairy godmother, and it's all sort of tied in. We feel like everybody who's contributed to the campaign has been our fairy godmother, and the transition of the theater from what it was, the rags, to what it's going to be, it just seemed like the perfect show. So yes, we will. We're going to have we're going to have a really nice reception after the show, and there'll be little Cinderella Christmas ornaments that the folks will get that attend opening night.
Oh, lovely.
Little glass slipper ornaments and photo opportunities with the actors. So it's going to be a fun night.
Sounds like fun, yeah. Suppose I want to make reservations. Can I do that online?
You can. You can do it online. You go to magicaltheater.org and buy tickets. There's a box on every page saying buy tickets. Click that, and it'll take you right through to the system. So you can choose your own seats, performance you want, seats you want, and just do it right online. Or if you prefer to give us a buzz, somebody can call us at that same number, 848-3708. Can call us and do it over the phone as well.
Okay. What about the rest of the season?
Rest of the season, after Cinderella, we will do Quoth the Raven, which is another original piece that we had commissioned, stories by Edgar Allan Poe. So in the winter, traditionally, we do a piece geared towards older kids and adults. It may be Edgar Allan Poe, Shakespeare, To Kill a Mockingbird, Death of a Salesman, something like that, that's in the curriculum and that kids are reading. So that will be, so we got a little spooky, scary Edgar Allan Poe, which will be fun. That'll be January. And then in the spring, we will do Lyle the Crocodile for the little ones.
Is that another one you've written? Or
That is not.
Written?
No,
That one is not.
That's a famous story for children about this crocodile that is found in these people's bathtub in New York City when they move into their home. And they adopt Lyle, and he becomes a member of the family.
That's fun.
And keep them in the bathtub?
No, no.
Yeah, out and about. They're out and about.
They're out and about. Yeah.
They're out and
Okay.
about.
Okay. And
We've got
after
some.
Lyle the Crocodile?
That will end the resident season, but we also have touring productions that we're doing. We've got we're touring Alice in Wonderland, again a piece that we wrote for our company, and that will go to churches, schools, community clubs. We'll be at First Night Akron, but a lot of schools have us come in during the day. And then we have another piece that we're doing. It's a little bit of a new venture for us. Reaching even younger kids. Traditionally, we're kind of going age 4 and 5 on up, but we've got a new piece that is just written, not for us, but it's very new for preschool kids age 2, 3 to 4. So the really little ones.
Will they come to the theater?
No, this will go to
This goes
them.
to
It's
them.
a small, very small play that's designed to be in a classroom, in a lobby, it could be at a hospital,
In a reading
church.
nook at a library.
Right, called Balloonacy. And it's one lonely, unhappy man, and a balloon comes into his house, and what happens and how that changes him, and how sweet it is, and friendship and whatnot. And so it's a cool little show, and we're happy to do something for the really wee little ones,
The teenies.
the teenies.
And then our other tour is Kid Scripts. which-
Yes.
yeah.
Tell me about Kid Scripts.
Kid Scripts is in its, I can't believe, our 20th year of this. But it's one of my all-time favorite projects at the theater. Schools book the project, book Kid Scripts. We send a director, teacher, actor to the school to talk to the kids about creative writing, to really reinforce what the teachers have already done, talk about who, what, when, where, why, beginning, middle, and an end. All of the nuts and bolts of writing a story. But then we use the theater aspect to get the kids up on their feet, doing improvisations and creating new and interesting characters. So we do the workshop with the kids then write stories, the teachers submit them to us, we choose 2 from each school that we think will make fantastic plays. My assistant and I read through all of them, we choose the 2 from each, we write them, we adapt them into plays from the short stories, rehearse them with our actors, our company of actors, and then we go back to the school in the spring and perform their world premieres for the school. And we ask the teachers and the principals to keep it a secret. Let the parents know, notify them, but keep it a secret so that nobody knows whose stories have been chosen. And we really go out of our way to make a big deal over the kids and honor the work that they've done. We have a big announcement when the parents are revealed, and the kids get to sit in a special director's chair, and they take home a prop from the show. And it's just, it's just a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to celebrate those talents of the kids. It's just,
That sounds amazing.
I love it. Because it's a tour and it goes out to all the schools, there are some times when I can't go and I'm back in the office or in a meeting or working on another project, and I just so desperately want to be at the school to meet the kids, to see the moment they're revealed, to watch their plays, and it's just rewarding and exciting.
A number of schools have been systems have been doing it for years. That now it's like in their curriculum. 4th graders every year they do Kid Scripts, not just at one school, but even at different schools within a school system. But yeah, it's very cool to see those kids' faces when their names are called, and their parents, moms are crying, and
Of course.
And then when the kids are leaving the space to go back to class, and you hear the younger ones going, "Next year I get to do that. Next year we get to write. Or 3 more years and we get to write." And I'm like, oh, I love this.
Wonderful.
We get to write,
You also have classes
We
for
do.
students.
We do. We have classes that we teach in the new art center right next door to Magical Theater Company. It was the Wygan building, which for many years housed the Summit County Health Department. It's now been turned into an art center. There's an art gallery there, but artist studios. We're teaching classes, acting classes, creative dramatic classes, mask making classes. We're doing those on Saturdays. And we're in a session right now, and then there'll be several other sessions into 2016. And we have several summer camps that we do. as well.
My next question.
So, well, camp-wise, we've got 2 camps. I'll talk about the one at the park.
Sure.
We do a camp at the Cuyahoga Valley National Park called Acting Outside. Because the idea is that these kids are, in fact, going to be using the park as a stage. So kids stay overnight at the facilities at the national park, which are great. Nothing like when we went to camp.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
The Environmental Education
The Environmental
Yes,
Education
yes.
Center, exactly right. And kids have classes in the morning that we and some of our other staff teach, acting, movement, voice, but also stage combat. And the kids love stage combat.
That's their favorite part.
It's their favorite. And then we rehearse plays that take place out in the woods and whatnot. So the final performance on that Friday evening is a walk through the park, and the parents are strolling along into the woods, and then they see something from Into the Woods, or Rapunzel or Peter Pan or Pocahontas, and then to the meadow, and there's another story from Trumpet of the Swan, or anything. I can't think of them right now, but and then at the end we finish with a huge battle, and we choreograph. We'll have 50 to 60 kids, and we'll choreograph a 10 or 15 minute scene that involves a battle. Sometimes they're pirates or knights or whatever, and at the end everybody dies, and parents love it.
They do.
We've been killing kids for 10 years, and they keep coming back.
They do.
I want to come to your camp.
Yes, absolutely.
So I do.
We've been asked by some of the parents, would you ever do this for adults? We want to go for a week-long camp.
Yes.
You know, so
Yes.
we'd love
We
to
haven't
do
figured
that.
that out
Oh, it is
Yeah.
a week long.
It is.
Okay.
It is. And then we have our other camp. It's a 2-week camp, but it's a day camp. It's not a sleepover camp that we have at Barberton High School called Kid Camp, Kids in Drama. And it's for ages 7 to 17. And they, in the mornings, rotate through classes. They have an acting class, a music class, a dance class. And then after lunch, everybody comes together to rehearse the show. And it's a musical. It's a musical review that we put together. And it's great fun. It's just great fun to see the kids working together. And we keep them in groups with their close ages for the classes, but we mix everybody for the scenes and the group numbers and the rehearsals so that the younger ones are getting assistance from the older kids, and it's just a great opportunity.
We always create a theme every year because we create the show ourselves. We don't do a standard book show. We're not doing Annie or Oliver or Guys and Dolls because you don't know if you're going to have the kids that are right for that. So we create a theme. Last year, or this past summer, the theme was food. So we did all sorts of scenes and songs around food, and we've done lots of different goofy themes.
TV.
Good guys versus bad guys. Lots of fun themes. Kids get into it.
Now, a lot of your productions are dealing with kids. Mm-hmm. Who is your audience at the Park Theater?
Everyone. We do school matinees during the day. They bus kids in on field trips, which is a wonderful opportunity. But then on the weekends, it's open to the general public for families. And we get asked, do you have to have kids to come? Do you have to? No, absolutely not. We have plenty of people who come that don't have kids. And we just say, it's for the young or the young at heart.
Surprisingly, a growing population of folks 50 plus, just couples, who just come without kids. And they may come see Lyle the Crocodile. They may come see a little kid show. Mm-hmm. And they just keep coming. They like the atmosphere. They like the work. They like seeing the kids and what happens. And with one of the things about the audience is we've got an audience from 23 Northeast Ohio counties. So schools and the public are coming from 23 counties, which is a quarter of the state. So they'll come from Mansfield, they'll come from Vermilion, they'll come from Youngstown to Barberton.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And how do you find your actors?
Well, we've got a company that we've been building kind of for a while now, a stable, but we still...
We're always looking for new faces. Right.
Good people.
Right. We'll advertise auditions in the newspapers or online. There's some different websites that actors can go to and look to see what's happening. Word of mouth
A lot of word of mouth. Actors will submit to us. They'll send their picture and resume saying, "I'm looking for work. Do you have anything?" "Yes, we do. Come on in." "No, not right now, but we'll audition you anyway because we might have something in the future for you."
And we really do. We hold on to these pictures and resumes because sometimes when you're looking, to cast a role and and you go back through and go, "Oh yes, I remember getting this 2 years ago. I'm going to call her in," and it's worked out. So.
I have a ton of more questions for you. There's so much to talk about with magical theater, but I hope our audience has learned a lot. And good luck to you with the new theater as you're opening. This is Ardith Keck for Forum 360. And thank you, Holly. Thank you, Dennis. And as I said, good luck with magical theater.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Forum 360 is brought to you with support from Electric Impulse Communications, Kim and Harvey Nelson, Rubber City Radio Group, Akronist.com, AkronBuzz.com, Medical Mutual of Ohio, Forum 360 supporters, and the Shaw Jewish Community Center of Akron.